Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter here for the next 20 minutes. Today we are going to be talking about the family side of the people screen. So we're going to be working in the membership module, focusing in on the people screen. We're going to look at how to print a blank data entry form. We're also going to look at the customizing your categories and membership, how to plug in that family information, and then we're also going to look at how to make a family inactive and also how to delete a family. We'll do that at the end here. So if you would like, I am actually using one of our workbooks. It's the Membership 101 workbook. You can purchase those workbooks out on our website. I do want to show you this real fast here. So if you go to churchwindows.com, under beginning, you can go to training workbooks, and we have a bunch of workbooks out here by module. But if you scroll down through, you can see the workbook and the different topics that are covered in the workbook. You can download it, or you can have a pre-printed version, which we print here and mail it to you. It's in a binder-ready format. But like I said, I'm going to be working in the Membership 101 workbook. So this top workbook here, specifically pages 9 through 22. So if you have the workbook, want to follow along, that's where you can do that. Also, webinars getting recorded. So I have it recording. I'll clean it up and get it on the website by the end of day today. So if you want to rewatch it or share it with someone that you think might find this beneficial, you can access this out on our website as well in the support center. It'll be right up at the top for you to select from. Now, there's a bunch of people registered for today. I think last I looked it was like 97. So a lot of people. There's only one of me, and I asked Kellyanne to listen in. So Kellyanne will be in here too, answering questions. So please, please try to keep the questions topical. So if it has to do with something other than what we're discussing today, I would ask that you please just email us to support@churchwindows.com, or you can always call us and we can get you an answer that way. But if you do have a question that pertains to what we're going over, just expand the questions section on your GoToWebinar toolbar. Just type in your question, and then Kellyanne will give you a typed response, or you can wait till the end and we can get you answered that way too. I can read it aloud if I think it'll pertain to other people as well. Okay? So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and jump in here to Church Windows. As you can see up at the top, we're in version 21.18.4. This is our most current version. If you're seeing something different than that, you can head out to churchwindows.com and download an update, or you can always call us, shoot us an email, and we can help get you updated to current that way. But I'm going to go ahead and open up membership. And so top of page 9, it's talking about how to get into the people screen. So there's two ways to get into the people database. You can click this big old people button right here in the middle. That'll take you in, or you can come up to the top and you can hit people here. Button's going to take you to the exact same place. Doesn't matter which one you click. But once people opens, this is going to be your database of everybody that has been entered into the membership module, okay? And as you can see, the left side of the screen here, this is your family record. So every person that you put into your people database, you have to set up a family record first, okay? Even if it's just one person, the family record has to be created first on this left-hand side. Once the family record's created, then you come over here to the right side, and this is where you're going to put in all of the individuals that make up that family. Even if it's a family of one, you still have to use the Add Family button here on the left to create that record, and then the Add Individuals button over on the right to put each of the people in, okay? Now, bottom of page 9, it's talking about a blank data entry form. This is very, very helpful If you have new people joining the church and you want to get their information, maybe part of a new member class, you could pass this report out. It's also good if you're new to church windows and you want to pass out some information, a form that people can then fill in, give back to you, so then you have all the information you need when you come into the people module to create their record. Okay, so to generate that blank data entry form, you're going to come up here under Reports and Export, and you're going to go to Other. Then you have blank data entry. We're going to go ahead and click on this, and it's going to open up just a smaller size reporting screen. Okay, in here we have a template, so a default layout that you can choose from to print out your report. So if we keep it on the default template by selecting it here in our layout box and I hit the print button, you're going to see a preview of what that default report is going to look like. It's going to be very basic information, mailing label, address information, alternate address information. And then here at the bottom, all the individuals that make up the family. Now, this, like I said, default. You can go in and customize this though. So if there's other fields that you want to add to this, more information like birthdays, marriage dates, things like that, you can customize this report and add whatever you want to it. So back here on the layout drop box, if you go to the right, there's a new button. By hitting this new button, you can put in whatever report name you want. So in the book, it's called Adjusted Family Form. You can also set some other options up here if you wish. Hit OK, and then it's going to take you into the column selector. So in the column selector, you can pick and choose what fields are going to print on the report. So available columns, these are all of the fields you have to pick from to be included on your report. Once you select something and move it to the right, if it's under visible columns, these are the fields that are going to print. So I'm going to go under Other here on the left, and I'm going to move birth date over and marriage date, just so you guys can see an example. If I just double click the field, it will move over, or I can highlight the field that I want and hit the right facing arrow, and that would move it over on the right to be included on the report. I'm going to say OK. And now in my layout drop box, I have my new report that I just made, Adjusted Family Form. I select that and I hit print. And now I have my report layout, but as you can see, I have my marriage date and my birth date now included. All right, so this is totally customizable for the information your church needs on those new families. All right, so that covers that blank data entry form. Really helpful tool, guys, to help get set up. All right, I'm in the middle of page 12. Now we're talking about categories. So you are going to see categories listed in a couple different places. I'm going to grab my highlighter so you can see. Down here, bottom left, it's telling you what categories are being displayed within your people module. So if I come up here and I'm hitting my arrows up here at the top to click through my families, it's always going to be showing me my members and my visitors. Okay. Now, let me grab my highlighter again. You can see what category a family falls into by referencing this drop box up here at the top. So if I click through families, you're going to see that family category is going to change. So the Bell family, Bill and Donna, they are a member. That is their family category. If I go back and I'm looking at Karen Bartholomew, we can see that her family category is a visitor. Okay, so if I'm showing members and visitors, when I use my arrows to click through, it's going to change up here at the top and it'll display what category this family has. All right. Now let's go back up here to the top. We have this other button. It says Filter by Categories. If I hit the down arrow, I can change what categories are going to be displayed as I click through my families. All right, so keep an eye down here at the bottom left of the screen where it says Showing. Say I only want to see my members. I can uncheck Visitors and click Show These Selected, and now when I look in the bottom left, it's only showing me members. So as I click my arrows to look through, I should say, all my families, now I'm only seeing families that have a member category. Okay. Same thing, you could come back here and you could do just visitors if you wanted to, or you can just leave them both checked, which is what people typically do, but you have the option to change your view. All right, so that is how you can filter through your categories. Now, if someone is a visitor and they join the church and you need to change their category, simply hit the down arrow, switch it to member, and now Nina has a family category of member. She is now a member within the people module. Okay. Now, another new feature with Church Windows is that you don't have to only have a member or a visitor category. You can make new ones. So if we hit this little pencil with a plus and minus here, we can maintain our categories. We can make new ones. So let's say I want to set one up that's P for potential. I'm going to put in a code of P, and then I'm going to type in the description, and I'm going to hit add. Okay, now if I close out of here, I have more category options to view. So if I have people who are visitors and they're just always going to be visitors, I can leave them as a V. If I have someone who's coming and interested in joining, I can turn them into a P, and then once they join, they can be a member. Okay, again, this is completely customizable. You don't like the potential option, you don't have to use it. You can set something else up entirely. But that's how the categories work. Now let's talk about adding a family. I'm going to use, I'm just going to use me as, say I'm coming and joining your church. I'm just going to use myself as a new record. So first thing we're going to do, add family over here on the top left. As soon as you hit add family, a new window is going to open. It's going to be that maintain family category code screen. At this point, you need to pick which category this new family is going to fall into. I'm a new person, I'm coming to your church regularly, you're going to put me in as a visitor, okay? Or whatever category fits a new person. So I'm going to select visitor, and I'm going to hit select item. Soon as I do that, you can now see the category set to visitor. My family number is 58. That is a number the program assigns to new families. You can't change that. It's just there for reference. And now it's in the mailing label box. So I need to type in what this new family's mailing label is. And I'm just going to type in Rachel Klein. That mailing label is what's going to appear whenever you print labels with the mailing label printing. Okay, so you might want to do Rachel Klein, you might want to do Mrs. Rachel Klein. If my whole family joins, it might be Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell Klein. It's really up to you how you want that label to be set or the wording to be used for your families. All right, right below that, we now have the address. To put a new address in, you need to hit the plus sign, okay? Plus sign is hit, it's going to open up a new address field, okay? A couple options. You have the family main, so this is where you put the main address for the family, but you also have this family alternates tab. Say I have a house in Florida that I go to in the winter. You could then put that information in here as my alternate address, and you could even put in the effective dates that I'm there. So if I go down there, I don't know, November through February, for example, you could put November 1st through February 1st, and as long as those fields are filled out, the program's going to automatically pull my Florida address whenever you do a mailing within the effective date range. Okay, let's go back to family main, and I'm just going to put in Church Windows address here, Beecher Road, zip code 43230, City, Columbus, State, Ohio, and I'm going to say okay. Now, as you can see, my current address is in effect. If you ever need to make changes to the address, you're going to go with a pencil. That's your edit button. Okay, phone number, plug in your phone number down here. I'm just going to use Church Windows phone number here and fill that in. Okay. Once you get your family information put in, then I'm going to come over here on the right and I'm going to hit add individual. And now I need to put my individual record in. First name, Rachel. If you have a nickname, middle name, feel free to fill in any of that. And then you also need to make sure you fill in the directory reporter. This field is very important. Everyone you have in here needs to have a directory report order. And you always need to have a primary in the household. So even if there's just one person, you need to make sure that person is the primary person. Okay? I'm going to hit save here. Now, if there's more than one people, say you want to put my husband and my 2 boys in, you'd need to hit add individual and go back through and add all of the other individuals within the family. But for time purposes, I'm only going to do myself here, okay? Now, let's jump back over here to the left, and I want to focus in on the other tabs that we're supposed to be covering here in today's webinar. Okay, so first thing I want to go to is the Family Info tab. This tab is where you find your mailing code. When we switched to version 20, a lot of people weren't sure where to look for that. So mailing code is here. So if you do a lot of mailings in your church and you organize them by mailing code, this is where you are going to fill this in. You can specify what type of code each family should have. There are some default codes in here, but again, if you want to customize it and make it your own, you're going to use the pencil with the plus minus as well. Below that, we have our geographic area. If you use that, down arrow to select your code, plus minus to customize. And then you're also going to have some fields you can't change. You're going to have last updated by, date created, and created by. So if you use usernames within your church windows, it will actually have the username of the person that's created this record. That's what's going to show up here in the last updated by and the created by. Okay, so we don't have users set up because this is just testing or sample data for webinars, but it would say created by, and it would have your name and the date that it was created. And then it's also going to have, if someone comes in here a week later and makes a change, it'll have whoever updated it last and the date that it was updated last. Okay, and those fields are gray. You can't change them. Program's going to fill them in automatically. You also have a comments tab. This is an open field. You type in whatever you want here that you believe pertains to this family. If different families are connected to other people, I go to church with my parents, my sister, her husband, their kids, you could have all this typed up in here so you kind of know different information or detailed information about the family that you're looking at. Okay. Again, you don't have to fill anything out. You have a photo tab. Pretty straightforward. You upload the family photo here if you're going to work on a pictorial directory. A great place to do that is in church windows. You can put the family photo here. You also have the other tab. This would be if you had a family and say mom, dad are separated, divorced, living in 2 different locations, you can link a child to 2 separate households within church windows. So you could create the dad's record first and then put the kids in there, create the mom as a separate record, and then you could then link the kids to the mom's record. So children are now able to be linked to 2 different households if you have parents that have split. And that is this link unlink child to family option. Okay. All right, let me get caught up here. All right, so now I'm on page 22. So I want to talk to you about the difference between deleting a family and making a family inactive. If the family has any giving or pledging information to it, you are not going to be able to remove the family, okay? So because I just put this record in of myself that I know there's no giving on it, the program will easily let me come up and delete the family. So if I come up here and I hit delete family, I'm going to get this box. It is going to give me a warning, but it's going to say permanently deleting this family will remove all individuals in the family and all data associated with them permanently. Okay, so if you hit that delete button, they are gone. There is no bringing them back. Okay, now you have to check this box to verify that you're sure you want to have them deleted. So if you're sure, you would check this box and you would hit yes. Then this Rachel Klein record would be gone. Okay. Now that might be something you want to do. Say you entered them in error or it's a duplicate. They were already in there and you didn't realize. Deleting might be something you need to do. But in most cases, you want to go with making the family inactive. All right, now that field is over here. Let me grab my highlighter. And keep in mind, these fields over here on the right can be set in different orders. So mine is located right here. Yours might be over here to the left, but it'll be in this individual field section somewhere. Okay. Let me get rid of my drawings. Okay, so if for some reason I decide that I'm moving away, I'm no longer going to be attending this church, you would need to come in here and mark my record inactive. To do that, you would find that inactive field and check this box, and then you have to put in the reason. So what is my reason for becoming inactive? You can hit the down arrow and pick from the different codes that are already set up. I'm going to do left the area. But again, you can hit your little pencil and you can make a new code. If one of these doesn't apply to why the person's inactive, make a new code and description, add it, select that one. And then you're also going to put in the date. So the date isn't required, but it's really important. It's nice to know who left at what time, especially if someone passed away, you can put their date of death in there. That way you can go back and run a report and see who left within last year. And then once you get that information plugged in, you can hit the save button. I already saved it, but you would hit the save button and then that information would be in there. Okay. Another thing I want to show you too, on a record that has multiple people, there is this Make Family Inactive button over here on the left. Feel free to click that if everyone is inactive for the same reason. Okay, so if you go through this Make Family Inactive button, everybody's going to get the same code. So I would choose left area, I'll leave today's date, I'll say OK, and now everyone has turned red. Everyone's inactive box is now checked. Left area is the reason, and then the date is filled in as well. All right. Looks like I'm 2 minutes past, but that covers everything I needed to go over for pages 9 through 22. If you're happy with the information that you received today, feel free to leave the webinar.